There is a Java library for NFC, JSAR 257, and I have one of these development kits with me. So if you, it's on the machine down there. At the moment, only available for a non-free operating system, and so if you are interested in getting your hands on mobile phone software development and NFC in particular, then you are invited to stay around, and we boot the other operating system and we can have a look at this. So actually the title of the lecture was Fun with NFC Mobile Phones. So where is all this fun? I tried to find the fun in several aspects of NFC. One is the usability. This technology is extremely easy to use, so it's actually fun to play with it. You can put these tags anywhere, and there are experiments around with children's toys, and so children can use it, for example, and old people can use it when they can't read any keys or displays anymore. They can still phone their people because like they have a picture of their family members, and they can just touch the family member's picture and call them. I guess that's a good reason. I already brought the example of the SMS tickets. That's quite near, so you can easily get into it. And what makes dealing with this technology really funny is, in my opinion, the usage. So if you consider that this technology, which is not very far developed at the moment, and not many people have tried it so far, and there is the plan of organizations, credit card companies, to get credit cards or credit card functionality on your mobile phone. Now consider, your mobile phone is a complete programmable device, and if we have payment on these phones, then I guess it's extremely interesting to get a very close look at this technology, especially at these secure elements that are used to store the keys. And this is also the planned next step for me, to take a much closer look at secure elements and maybe to get some better programming environment than having to deal with J2ME. So that's it from my point of view, and I would love to see if there are any more questions. The one about security, I can't tell you at the moment if it's possible to hack the secure elements. I've heard from people who have at least, well, they think it's possible. We will see some publications out there, I hope in the near future, and there are people dealing with it.
Okay,
yep.
The communication between the tag and the phone, is it always scrambled?
Sorry, between the tag and?
And what kind of scrambling do they use?
It's not scrambled. If you can get in between this, you can sniff it.
Yeah,
that's easy.
It sounds very good and very secure.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to get in between.
Pardon?
I guess you have to get in between. So that's one of the design goals of NFC, that you make the distance that short, that the trust in the system comes from the short distance.
Hopefully.
Yes. Another question, please?
Do the designers of NFC really believe then that you couldn't eavesdrop on a communication from a further distance than would be needed to power the tag, which usually is the limiting factor?
I'm not the right person to ask this, but I guess that was one of the design goals. Yes.
Okay. Well, let's build some big antennas then.
Yes. I've seen some around out there, big antennas, so maybe, yes.
NFC is based on RFID, and on RFID there have been attacks extending the range. And with NFC, especially with the active communication, there might be some problems because the active communication can be easier eavesdrop than the passive communication, and therefore active communication might be more insecure.
Yes.
Whatever. But another question, the Nokia phone, does it already support the 5693 standard?
What's 5693?
The other RFID standard.
You mean the peer-to-peer?
No,
stuff?
I mean the RFID standard.
I know what.
The ISO standard.
Yes, I guess so. Just let me have a quick look. Was it on this list of standards I gave you?
Yeah, actually it was, but
the first two are supported. Yes, I guess so.
Okay, thank you.
But thanks for pointing this out. I agree very much with the active part. Yeah.
I have a question regarding the two posters, or the posters, when you tag a poster and the mobile phone starts starting the number. And let's assume you have one poster from Citibank and another poster from Aldi or something. Can you actually cut out the RFID from both posters and swap them? So people who want to call Citibank end up at Aldi, and Aldi who want to call Aldi end up at Citibank?
Of course.
And, okay, that's great already, but how is this RFID tag authenticated? For example, can I replace the Citibank RFID with my RFID, so that actually my number is called?
There have to be some mechanical means. So it's
What you mean, like
it's a matter of physical security. If you have seen this tags in Hanau here.
Yeah.
They experimented quite some time until they got these tags, and that are extremely stable plastic housings for tags.
Okay, but let's assume I put a tinfoil on top and then my RFID on top. I mean, my RFID is closer to it, and you say it's near field communication, so my RFID tag is red.
Yes.
So in theory, if someone wants to call Citibank, he answers with my phone number, and I redirect him to Citibank. It's a nice man-in-the-middle attack.
I understand what you mean, and I say good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You have to have some isolating material in between the tinfoil and your tag.
Yeah. Okay. So because it would be very hard to distinguish. And I have a last question. You say it's near field communication, but is there actually a handshake going on? Or if I have a very strong transmitter, could I actually tell everyone in this room, all mobile phones, please call this number now because you just touched an RFID tag? If I have a very strong transmitter.
I've not thought about this one yet. The communication, it depends on which mode of operation. There is a kind of negotiation process going on, so where there is defined which device starts to send, for example. So it's half duplex, only one device. If you have two active devices, only one device can send at a time. So there is some kind of negotiation process going on. I'm not sure if you can really compare it to something like a TCP handshake.
Yeah, so there might be a random number that I have to guess. That is probably 16-bit.
I did not dive in that deep into technology, but if you're interested, we can have a look at the specs afterwards.
Cool.
I would like your opinion on this.
Great, thanks.
I got a question about the device you used to get the signal into your computer. And another question, I mean, it's also very dangerous having, most people used to carry their mobiles on a belt. So if you're in a traffic jam or you stand in a train, so it's quite easy to pick it up, the signal, if you build your device. So that would be another issue. And a third thing I wanted to add, I'm sure you can get your commercial software running under Wine after installing the EA for Linux, the Internet Explorer for Linux. After that, you should be able to install it under Linux, your special program. Maybe you can get it. Maybe you can give it away. I don't know.
Thanks for that offer. To this belt thingy, yeah, you are very right. I found somewhere in the NFC papers the nice sentence that you have to care how near you get to untrusted devices. So the recommendation is not to get yourself and especially your NFC device nearer than 10 centimeters to an untrusted device. Yes. So it's more kind of yeah. Actually, it's for public transport. So if there is a jam in the public transport, you might experience shorter distances. That's very true. Yeah. But were all of your questions answered, or did I forget one?
The device you used to get the signal onto your PC?
What PC?
The device you used to get the signal onto your PC. You were
you
communicating between the mobile and your PC.
Yes, yes.
So
you can use RFID readers, like smart card readers, for example. They are already out there. Or the project from Milos, I guess. The OpenPIC or OpenPCD. I guess we should try this out if this works. I guess so, as the standards should be compatible. So,
an additional question to this: if you are in traffic jam or unintentionally come close to one of these readers or tags, that means the phone or whatever device you use is constantly in active in receiving mode.
Very good question. Thank you for this. This one, yes. This one, no, because it has a lid. And actually, clever phone designers, they activate the reader only when the lid is open. The smart card mode of operation also works when the phone is switched off. So, for example, in the case your power fails, yeah, the battery goes low, and you still want to pay your ticket, you can.
So with this, in this mode, it acts like a passive,
yes. Like a smart card.
RF device. And the ticketing system, does it work that way that where you have to touch this machine, that you are the passive one and the machine is reading your ID?
Right.
It's not the other way around.
No. Okay. It's kind of, for example, Sony Felica. It's a similar system deployed in Asia and Japan, and it's also that way around. So they deploy the readers, and in your mobile phone is the tag. So and this one has both directions, so to say. But these payment applications, there it's the tag emulation, that's the interesting one.
And in the second question, sorry, the secure device, is this detail specified in the specs, or is this like a black box and not disclosed to the public?
It depends on who you ask. So I found several papers on how to implement a secure element. And as I said, the discussion is still going on where to put it. So, for example, these devices, they have a secure element built in. It's a 4K MyFair tag that's emulated by the phone, and you can store keys into this secure element. And you can develop applications that make use of this secure element. And the developer version of these phones. So if any of you is thinking about getting such a phone and experimenting with it, be sure to get the development version, because there you can lock and unlock this secure element. And there is a certain the discussion where to put this secure element is, as I said, extremely interesting because it's commercial interest. The one who controls